and a nice little instrumental. I thought a beautiful, nice piece of music before the chaos erupts of Radio Boscombe and whatever else is going to happen. So, CW.
Yeah, we've got Radio Boscombe here. So, guys, do you want to give yourself an introduction?
I'm Gary.
I'm not Gary. I'm Paul.
That's it. We've got an extended family, but they're none of them are here today, so we're just like the core members, the hardcore members, aren't we?
Hardcore, definitely. Yeah.
How many members of Radio Boscombe are there?
Well, we've lost count.
So, two.
There's two in the core.
Two main members, isn't there? Yeah. And then we got a lot of sort of groupie hangers on.
Extended family, I think, is the correct term.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, not groupies.
I think I'm included in that, aren't I?
You are indeed. Yes, yeah. You are.
I don't remember when that happened as such, but
I think it was when Mr. Sunak decided they were going to call you up and direct you into being a part of a comedy group.
So is this like my national service?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's you're a poet, so they looked at it and said, "Poet, where do you want to send him? Down the Falklands or into a comedy group?" So that's it, you see.
Well, there's something special going on tomorrow, isn't there? There's, what is it? I think there's some kind of election.
There's a general, I've got to say this carefully, general election.
Election.
That's the word. And yes...
Why have you got to say general? Carefully. What's so careful to pronounce about general?
Nothing, Tim.
Oh, okay. I just wondered why you had to say it carefully.
We've got some comedy about elections, and we've got one on CD, first of all, which is called Election, and it's about the result of an election.
I'm Wes Midlands, and as you join me, I'm waiting for the Prime Minister to emerge from number 10. With me, as you can hear, is a crowd of well-wishers.
Kill, 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 kill.
With me, as you can hear, is a lynch mob.
Yay!
Prime Minister, you must be pretty happy with today's result.
Yes, it's not every day you're backing outside and it comes in at 50-1.
And the election, that must make you pretty happy too.
Oh yeah, I'm over the moon, Brian. I don't remember much about it. Stevie passed out the ballot papers, 47 million people marked them, passed them out to Kev on the right wing, and they just went in off the top corner of the ballot box.
Have you decided on your cabinet yet?
No, I think it's a bit early yet for that, Brian. Glenn's got a late fitness test tomorrow and Trevor comes back from suspension next week. So we'll start thinking about it then.
And your plans for the country?
Well, I'd like to see us end up with at least one trophy by the end of the season. And of course there's the United Nations. If we qualify for the Security Council this time round, I'll be more than happy.
Could you just tell us what the government's policies will be?
Well, we're all organising, Brian. We play the game differently from the Continentals, so I think we should work to our strengths. Glenn's a world-class Environment Secretary, so why not use him? Assuming he's fit in time, of course.
Well, joining us now, we have the new squad of ministers from whom the next cabinet will be selected. OK, lads, who's going to be the new Treasury Secretary? OK, well, if I can bring you in here, Trev, how do you feel about it? What new fiscal policies will you be introducing?
Well, I think I've regained my form now. I've been a lot sharper recently and creating a lot more chances. Devaluation could well be on the cards.
And of course, your wife just had a baby, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. Actually, I misjudged the shot, but it went in anyway.
Coming back to you, Prime Minister, a week ago you were unknown. Now you've just won the general election. Where to from here?
Well, we're out to reduce unemployment, cure inflation, nationalise the brewing industry and build lots of new airports, and hopefully we'll get back into Europe.
The common market?
Well, it's a possibility, yes.
Well, if I can just bring Glenn in here. Glenn, can you talk us through that first result?
Yeah, I was coming forward to the balcony of the town hall with the other candidates to my left. The returning officer, as you can see here, his flag stayed down and I was awarded a seat in Parliament.
Looking at it again in slow motion, some people have said you were offside.
No way, Brian. The flag stayed down and that's good enough for me.
Stevie, you got in by a penalty, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Many people have tipped you for the next Foreign Secretary.
No, I can't type, but anyway, I'm English.
That's not quite what I meant. Anyway, with me now I have the Leader of the Opposition. Dave, you must be pretty disappointed.
Well, yes. Obviously the lads are pretty disappointed. To lose like that, especially after being one up in the opinion polls. But all credit to the Prime Minister and his lads. They stuck to it, and on the night they were the better party.
You were favourites though, weren't you?
Well, yes, but on the day it's all decided by a few million floating voters. The thing can go either way. The public often go for the underdog, as they did here. What we've got to start thinking about now is next season. There's the local elections coming up, so there's still everything to play for. We had a lot of trouble last season with Seal's injury.
Cabinet leak, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
And then there was the scandal over the Foreign Secretary.
Well, I believe him when he said she was English. To my mind, Brian, the press made a meal of the whole thing. I can't see anything wrong with him sleeping with his wife.
But on the central line?
Well, that's it, isn't it, Brian? I'd just like to see how the new champions, our government, gets on when they're faced with their first crisis. It should be any moment now.
Sorry?
Nothing. Didn't say a word, Brian.
D. Greenblatt, thank you. And with that, it's back to David Dustman in the studio.
Right, well, that was Radio Boscombe with a sketch called Election, quite an old one, but still very topical at the moment. I'd like to point out that tonight we will be talking about all the political parties, but we'll reiterate this in the interest of political balance, that they are all equally as bad as each other. And later on we will have the Cornish nationalist candidate for South Bournemouth, whose campaign is free passages for everyone, as well as hopefully Conservative candidate for South Bournemouth, Tory Marginal, who's back after a long time, and also the Labour candidate, what's his name, Paul?
No idea.
Isn't it? That's it. No idea. That sounds very much like the Labour candidate.
No, that's his name. Noah
Idea.
Dear.
Noah Idea. Right, okay, Noah Idea. The Labour candidate will also be with us as well. Right, so that's what we're talking about for interest and political balance. But moving on, I believe our host, CW, is going to liven the mood of bleakness of politics by talking about the bleakness of human existence with tonight's Light Relief.
I'm going to go back to politics a little bit, but this poem is slightly dated. It's one I wrote back
It's not one about Gladstone, is it?
No, not that dated. It's one I wrote back in 2019 time, and it was around the time that everyone was talking a lot still about Brexit, and it is...
You mentioned the B word, you're not allowed to talk about that.
I did
it's,
mention...
It's the elephant in the room, isn't it? None of them are talking about this election, are they, you know?
There was a kind of atmosphere then where it was somewhere, as a country, we were somewhere between trying to capture like an idyllic past that maybe didn't exist anymore and being scared for the future that potentially was coming our way. So I decided to put that into a poem called This Is Not My Country. This is not my country. This is not fish and chips on a Sunday afternoon, or the gentle swaying of hips held so tightly in ballrooms. This is not dignity or nobility, fortitude or empire. It is the catching fire of tenement buildings, the ships turned away from the ports. This is not hope or possibility, opportunity or promise. It is the drying out of shaving flannels in old barbers' salons, armadas of exhausted lorries backed up on endless motorways, once prosperous channels of trade, now infertile, laid bare. This is the house that remains divided, the corner shops unstocked. It is not freedom or independence. This is our sons and daughters alone outside the prison gates. It is the daffodils silenced, the crockery unused, the slog of rainy days with no time for toast and tea. This is not democracy or a return to the old ways. It is bedlam and plague. It is not etiquette or a door held open. It is hostility and threat, the dragons slowly circling, with no heroes left to slay them. This is not a springtime blossoming, or the rolling summer meadows. It is not a picnic in the country, or an elm tree's autumn leaves. It is not the maypole or bunting, the shrill twilling of a blackbird. It is not a Whitsun wedding, or a church fete in early June. This is not a past returning, it is a future disregarded. It is a feud between neighbours, approaching drum taps that signal danger, a marching band playing, inharmonious and out of tune. This is not security and control, strength and stability. It is not once more a green and pleasant land. It is disruption, inertia, anxiety, and this is not my country.
Very good.
I think it captured something of the mood around that.
I don't think that mood's gone away really, but there you go. But you know, let's be fair. You know, you get a chance to go out and put an X in a box, put a cross into a box rather, which is more than the England team can do at the moment.
What was anyway? You started off and you said something. This is not fish and chips. I know it. It's too expensive now, isn't it? You can't, Who can afford fish and chips? Eh?
Yeah.
You second mortgage, don't you?
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. Everything's far too expensive.
Yeah, so I don't want to go back to that.
What?
Not that price, anyway.
No, fish and chips. In old newspaper.
How much did fish and chips used to be?
Oh, now she's going to show me age now. Wait, I'm not joking. You used to be able to get fish for like That'll be 15 pence.
Yeah, 3 bob.
3 bob, I'll get them. And then you get chips for probably...
Was a bob a shilling then?
Yes.
Yeah. So you get...
yeah, because it was a 10 shilling note, a 10 bob note, wasn't it? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And chips were like 3 or 4 pence.
What about mushy peas on the side?
Well, I don't think they've been invented then.
Yeah, mushy peas is quite a new invention, isn't it?
What, mushy peas inside the chips?
No. Just like you get mushy peas out of the fish and chip shop, don't you?
Yes,
As a side
but-
order.
Oh, as a side. I
As
thought
a
you said
side order,
inside.
yeah.
I was like, how do you get mushy peas inside of chips? You know, it's like chips and mushy peas.
And it's
chips, you get them. Yeah.
It's the quality as well, isn't it? I mean, if you go and get fish and chips in certain fish and chip shops, right? You not only get mushy peas, you get mushy chips, you get mushy fish as well, don't you?
And mushy curry sauce.
True. That's true.
It's not good anyway. Never mind. We'll press on now.
You're
so-
making me very hungry. I've not eaten all day.
Oh dear. Has the pasty convoy not got through from Cornwall?
Not today, no.
Oh dear. Okay, we'll have to do something about that.
There's a national shortage of pasties going on at the moment. It's a bit of an issue.
Well, they've closed the border, haven't they?
Well, it's because it's election season. They've done all sorts of drastic measures to try and gerrymander what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, so your vote doesn't count. You're allowed to vote in English elections as a Cornish subject.
I sincerely expect so.
Good, that's good.
I haven't actually investigated that one.
Okay, that's interesting because lots of people haven't got their postal votes this year, have they?
The thing is, you see, on his ID, what's he got? Cornwall passport, I suppose, has he?
Yeah,
Well,
it's got a little St Piran's flag on it, you know.
Right,
Black and
one of
white,
those.
yeah.
Better than someone I was speaking to on Monday night who lives in a horse box and therefore is not eligible to vote because they haven't got a fixed address.
Yes,
True.
that's right. Yeah, you know they go one way or another. Yeah, but if you go on the sticker, the Tim Hayward sticker on the UEFA European Cup thing, then it's got a picture of Tim. It's got the St Piran's flag on and that mugshot they use on the stickers for footballers. Yeah, so how are Cornwall doing in the Euros, Tim?
Sorry, what's the Euros?
Oh, right, okay. It's football.
Yeah, wrong shaped ball and I'm just not interested.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Cornwall, what do they play down there then?
Rugby, the right shaped ball.
Have Cornwall got a team then?
Oh, yeah. They played Twickenham a few years back. They were that
Really?
good, they got up to Twickenham.
They have got a cricket team, I do know that. Cornwall, because they've got to the minor counties things, haven't they, a cricket team?
Don't know, wrong shaped ball again, Paul.
Oh dear, we have
It's a bit of a culture block, isn't
yeah,
it? Never mind. So we're now going to have, I think, that which did not speak its name.
Showcasing the best in music and the arts in Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole. This is Livewire Live, sponsored by Chaplin's and the Cellar Bar.
Okay, well, we've got another sketch, haven't we?
Have
This
you?
one we put the hats on for when we do it live, haven't we?
Which one are we doing then?
Zulu one.
Oh, the Zulu one. It's a bit controversial, isn't
Well,
it?
it's politics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just correct me or not, is this the world's worst impression of Michael Caine that's ever been recorded?
I would like to think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let the listeners judge.
Zulus to the southeast, sir. Thousands of them.
Are they in small boats, Colour Sergeant?
No, sir.
Well, nothing to worry about then.
Beg pardon, sir, but they've got spears, sir. Nasty, sharp ones, sir.
Assegai?
Thank you, sir.
No, Colour Sergeant. A Zulu spear is called an assegai. Nothing to worry about, no matter how sharp. My orders from London are quite clear. The biggest threat to the British Empire is unarmed civilians in small boats. Not homicidal Zulus.
But they're coming this way, sir. They look pretty irritated, sir.
Well, of course they are, Colour Sergeant. We've invaded their country. My orders are that's okay. It's people invading our country that's not okay.
Are unarmed civilians invaders, sir? That's pretty callous.
Maria Callas, the opera singer?
No, sir.
I think, Colour Sergeant, you're confusing the word with Calais. It's in France, where they come from. It's all the fault of those damned Europeans.
Jenkins has just been stabbed, sir.
Were they in a small boat?
No, sir.
Well, no need to worry then. You need to get your priorities right, Colour Sergeant.
Williams is gone now, too, sir.
Williams the milk or Williams the post?
Williams the coffin now, sir.
Thank you, Colour Sergeant. Just remember...
I know, sir. We came here to build a bridge, sir.
God no, we're here to burn them all down and brick up the Channel Tunnel. We shall fight them on the beaches. We've got guns and they haven't.
That was Williams, the immigration officer, sir.
Poetic justice, I suppose. 6 minutes! Stand by to repel borders!
Look at that. Come on.
And so that was Radio Boscombe.
And it was called Zulu Updated, yes. And we thought, the thing about repelling all the, like the line, it's okay to invade other people's countries. When they come over here, that's going too far,
Yes.
It's a prevailing mood, isn't it? The British exceptionism. And back to what CW was saying earlier about Brexit, the elephant in the room, the gift that keeps on taking. But there we go. That's only my opinion. You may have a different opinion out there, and you're perfectly entitled to it.
I don't understand all this immigration thing. The whole country over the years, has only been populated by immigration. Going back to how the nation was established you're the history teacher, Gary. You can tell me how long.
Well, this is true. I think the reason it's controversial is because the people that get worked up about this kind of thing generally perceive anyone that's different from them as being a threat, which is...
But everybody's the same and everybody's different all at once.
Yeah, but that's not the way they think of things, because they've got this very kind of narrow mindset, and they vote for people with the same kind of narrow mindset who dog whistle them to gain support.
Are
That's
they
what
going to be the
politics is all
first
about.
ones against the war when the revolution comes?
I don't think there will be a revolution. I don't think we tend to go for revolution in this country. I think we'll have a change tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be a huge revolution. I mean, maybe Cornwall will declare UDI afterwards and, just go for completely separating itself.
They've already done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to put mines down the Tamar or build a wall or something.
Well, no, that's all we need to do. Just destroy the Tamar Bridge and we're done.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's
There's
it.
one little bit just outside Bude that's still hanging on, but they've got a canal. They're going to just drill through the canal. That'll be
Okay,
fine.
well there we go. So that's Tim Hayward, our Cornish Nationalist candidate. We'll be talking later, along with the other candidates, the Tory Marginal and Noah Idea, who will be talking about their various things.
That was very, very cool.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, well, all sorts.
Nice piece
CW
of
Blackburn,
I
ringmaster
can do
poets.
better than that. I'm sure. But yeah.
Yeah, call yourself a birdsmith. That was rubbish.
Give me half an hour with a thesaurus, and it'll be brilliant.
Call yourself a wordsmith? That would be rubbish. You should be able to do it on the top of your head with no thesaurus necessary. And I realised the other day it is a thesaurus, not a theosaurus, because how many people do you hear saying theosaurus?
You don't. We're native English speakers, Tim. We haven't learned it from Duolingo or Dupalupa, Dialipa or whatever it is.
Hang on a minute.
I think this sounds like the good name for a children's book, like Dua Lipa and the Theosaurus.
What's this Dupalupa stuff? What's all that about?
Well, it's a singer, isn't it? She's a singer on at Glastonbury.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Oompa Loompas.
No, it's completely different. Anyway, politics, election tomorrow. Everything's been going wrong for years. Why has it all been going wrong? We have the answer, don't we, Paul?
We do have the answer.
And the answer is track 3 on the CD.
Is this
Scapegoat? Yeah.
Yeah, Basingstoke.
Yeah.
Good evening. The failure of Brexit to deliver prosperity, rampant inflation, increasing crime, growing poverty and inequality, strikes, the overloading in the NHS, a total failure to level up, rising fuel prices, small boats, customs delays, constitutional deadlock, ecological disasters. But just who is to blame? With me to discuss this is the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, who is to blame for all these problems? The government? Social media?
No, not at all. But we have now identified the real cause of the nation's ills.
Some people say it's government policy. Some say it's the voters who put them there in the first place. Some say the opposition.
If only it was that simple. These are all complex and interrelated socio-economic issues. There are a number of interacting and interrelated factors responsible. But we've identified that by far the worst of all is Mr. Richard Jennings of 25 The Cuttings, Basingstoke.
Mr. Richard Jennings of 25 The Cuttings, Basingstoke.
Yes. I made a statement to the House about him earlier on today.
But you live in a bungalow.
No, the House of Commons. All the UK's current ills can be made directly attributable to Mr. Richard Jennings of said 25 The Cuttings, Basingstoke.
I see. And what's the government doing about him?
Well, first of all, we've nationalised him, and then leased him out to a private company to run. You'll now be able to log on to the UK government website and blame him for everything. Potholes in the road? Your council will now be able to blame Richard Jennings.
So he's a sort of national scapegoat?
Exactly. It won't change anything, of course, but it'll make people feel better about themselves, knowing they have a clear conscience and that they're not at all to blame for any of this mess we currently find ourselves in.
Isn't that all just a bit simplistic?
Yes, totally in tune with the modern zeitgeist. Why take responsibility for anything? I know I don't.
But you're the Prime Minister.
Yes, it's one of my ministerial superpowers. We all want someone else to blame for everything bad that happens, so now we can do that with Mr. Jennings. It's simple, easy, and totally guilt-free. Post as much hate as you want on social media about Naughty Dick, and no one will get offended. Apart from him, of course.
But isn't that a little bit unfair?
Good heavens! You in the media have been claiming for years that we in the government have done nothing to help anyone, and now we've identified the root cause of all the nation's ills. You're saying it's unfair?
No, I meant unfair on Mr. Jennings.
Oh, he's not real. We just invented him. That's the beauty of the whole scheme. He's sort of like a national piñata. Buses late? Blame Jennings. Rubbish TV? Blame Jennings. Economy wrecked?
Blame Mr. Jennings, yes, I see.
QPR sliding down the league? All Jennings' fault.
And what will happen, Prime Minister, when the nation wakes up and realises we're faced by a whole series of complex and serious issues, and that vilifying a random fictional character from Basingstoke has solved nothing?
Oh, pish! We'll be out of office by then.
But if you do win the next election?
Oh, easy. We'll go back to blaming foreigners. Joe Public always buys that one.
We need to talk about that sketch, don't we?
Okay, yeah.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we do. Okay, well, it's called Scapegoat. It's about how everyone likes to have someone to blame for something rather than accepting responsibility. And we thought, yeah, well, good idea. Blame a completely fictitious person for it. So we've got someone else to blame, blame foreigners, blame the left, blame the right, blame Mr. Jennings, Naughty Dick.
And of course, politicians never ever blame themselves, do they?
Indeed, it's always the previous lot, or it's the outside forces we can't control. It's a global downturn, it's a war.
We took over this mess 437 years ago.
Yeah, it's always, everything is always somebody else's problem, and they never actually turn around to the electorate and say, this is your problem because you keep voting in stupid ways for stupid people who promise you things are going to get better, when in fact we all know they're going to get worse. Global warming is around the corner, climate change is around the corner, who knows, maybe another major war, and you're all expecting things to get better all the time. How naive.
I always find it amusing how politicians, when they've got an election coming, suddenly they say they're going to do all the things that you like,
yes,
but they haven't done them while they were actually in power.
No,
I've never worked that one out.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, really.
It is. In political balance, of course, have made the point that it's all politicians, not just any political party. They're all equally as
I
bad
did use
as
the
each
word
other.
politicians very carefully.
You did, yes. No names, no pack drill.
Well, we're professionals,
as they used to
you see,
say
aren't
when
we?
we were doing our national service back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah, I was in catering corps. Where were you?
Me?
Leeds United, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But tonight in the mood, we've got another poem, haven't we, CW?
Yeah, so this is a poem that I wrote recently called What If? And it was written because I saw one of my friends commenting online that they really like poems that begin with the phrase what if, and that sounded like a kind of challenge to me. And then a funny idea popped into my head, and then I wrote this poem. So it's called What If? What if I wrote a poem called What If? What if I did that? What if you listened? What if this poem had absolutely nothing to do with politics? What if there was really no point to it? What if I thought being all rhetorical and ambiguous made me sound really deep? What if I just liked asking meaningless questions? What if I tacked on something strangely inspirational, like we can all travel to the moon on a candy floss rainbow? Or tenderly romantic, like, my love, don't worry about your bad breath, I'm used to it by now. What if, to keep you engaged, I tried to make my voice sound all erotic and sexy? What if you spent the whole time thinking, I wonder if he's wearing that hat? What if you were only pretending to listen and you were actually wishing you were watching the telly right now? What if you started to realise this poem is going nowhere? What if I kept talking past the point where you actually care? What if that got really awkward? What if I said what if so much that you started being kind of annoyed that I kept saying what if? What if I used unnecessary silences to make that even more awkward? What if, when I started speaking again, you thought, oh no, there's more, I was hoping that was the end? What if it was? What if it wasn't? What if you realise this poem is a joke, and that every minute you spend listening to it is just more of your life I'm wasting? What if I said, no, keep listening, it gets better in a minute? What if that was a lie? What if, when I was writing this poem, I realised I had absolutely nothing to say and no idea how to end it? What if I never should have started writing it in the first place? What if, to save myself the embarrassment, I just kept asking, what if, again and again in a slightly melancholy way that sounded profound but was actually kind of shallow, and you were sat there thinking, this is a bunch of rubbish, and then people started shouting at the radio for me to shut up, and I screamed back, no, I won't, because I'm an imaginative and sensitive person, living in an unjust and uncaring society, full of heartache, materialism and greed, and I demand that my voice be heard. What if you rolled your eyes and stopped listening? What if you decided you were tired or needed the toilet because you didn't want to listen to one more word of this pretentious drivel? What if you got up and left? What if I just stayed here on the air anyway, in complete denial that I'd lost my audience and kept asking, what if, what if, what if, hoping that someone, somewhere, still cared? What if you had to call the police to have me removed from the studio? What if I went to prison and the other prisoners asked me what I did and I said I wrote a poem called What If, and it was so terribly written that I got unfairly arrested and sentenced to a life behind bars? What if they heard the poem and thought, that's kind of alright? What if that made it all worth it in the end? What if I finally finished this poem by mirroring the first line to give you an imaginary sense of satisfaction? What if I wrote a poem called What If, What If, What If?
Very good. Very profound. I like that, yeah.
It's 2 pages of me saying absolutely nothing.
But it isn't, though, because the poem itself is about what if I did what if, which
Yeah,
makes it very autological.
I think you've got a career in politics coming up, because you've actually said 2 pages of something that sounded really meaningful and purposeful, but actually was completely and utter drivel. So I think, yes, you could make a very good politician.
Well, there you go. So it does tie into the theme of the show.
Didn't a famous bloke, you're not famous, CW, I mean, you're famous, well, in this room anyway, and then, wasn't there a famous poem that started off, if?
Yeah, Rudyard Kipling.
That's the
if
bloke.
you can, hold your fire when all are running around, you're a better man than I am, going to do or something. Yeah.
As he said that, that's what
it.
sprung into my head.
I think his was a little bit more. His was a little bit more profound than mine.
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask him. Here's Rudyard. No,
his poem didn't end with him getting arrested. So,
it did.
Mind you, he soon gave out the poems, didn't he? Became a baker.
It did, yeah. Mr. Kipling's cakes, yeah. That's it. Very good. Right, we've got another recorded sketch now. The elephant in the room that none of the politicians are talking about, but we're not afraid to. This is, yes, thank you, elephant. This is track 4, Exit from Brexit.
Remains split down the middle. About half the people, the numbers very slightly, support Brexit. The other half, the numbers very slightly, are dead against it. Extremists on both sides have threatened that if they don't go their own way, they could resort to widespread civil disobedience and, quite possibly, direct physical action.
Oh dear. If only there was a way to solve this problem once and for all. A solution that would please everyone.
Prime Minister, terrible news. The Americans and Koreans have started lobbing atom bombs at each other, and now the Russians and Chinese joining in.
Brilliant! Brilliant! Yes! Yes! Yes!
But, Prime Minister, that means we're all going to die.
I know, isn't it brilliant? Neither Leave or Remain will get their own way. Problem solved! Now, take me to the blast zone.
Prime Minister?
Well, I don't want to be around when the survivors start arguing over Brexit.
Livewire Live.
Right, well, our guests for the political debate, Tory Marginal and No Idea, have arrived and they're now in the green room. So before they actually come in, we'll get away with this one. So this is called Parlez-vous Politics, and it ain't on CD because we're doing it live. And now a phrase book for election time with handy translations to help you understand what on earth they're actually talking about.
We have no plans.
A popular phrase heard almost every day. For example, we have no plans to increase VAT. Translation:
we're going to increase VAT.
Sometimes this will be heard with the word absolutely, as in,
we have absolutely no plans to increase VAT.
Translation: we are definitely going to increase VAT. It may also be heard in the context of possible post-election scenarios.
We have absolutely no plans to go into coalition with any other party.
Translation:
we'd shack up with a bunch of rabid left-wing, right-wing meatheads if it got us through the door of number 10. Now, let me make this crystal clear.
Translation: let me repeatedly avoid answering your question. Sometimes this takes the form of,
let me be absolutely clear. What I want to say is this.
I'm going to answer, but not the question I've been asked.
It's the right thing to do.
Translation: it's the wrong thing to do, but we're going to do it anyway. In some contexts, this phrase can also mean,
we haven't a clue why we're proposing this, but it sounds fair, and we want your prejudices to feel we have a conscience.
Hard-working families.
Almost everyone, except beggars, scroungers, spongers, and people who look a little bit foreign.
Long-term economic plan.
Making things up as we go along.
Taking tough decisions.
Breaking promises as soon as we're in office.
The phrase can also, of course, mean cutting benefits to the disabled.
We will balance the books.
We might balance the books, but it's highly unlikely.
There are no easy answers.
There are easy answers, but they all involve putting up taxes and personal sacrifices, and we're scared to tell people that.
We'll crack down on tax avoidance.
We'll ask Starbucks to give us a couple of £100.
We will support small businesses.
We will support the large businesses who give us money.
We will create a northern powerhouse.
We will refurbish a former department store in Manchester and call it a business incubator.
We will create business incubators.
We have a former department store in Manchester that's now filled with hipsters drinking flat whites.
It's part of an overall package.
Translation: it will make a blind bit of difference.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the wrong thing to do, but it'll dog whistle our supporters on side.
With all due respect.
Translation: I hate you.
Protected by a triple lock.
We're lying to get pensioners' votes. We actually want them to die so we can steal their money.
We are the party that are committed to protecting the NHS.
Translation: let's face it, it'll soon be known as Virgin Healthcare, and anyhow, everyone I know already goes private.
We're rolling this out across the country.
The whole thing's years behind schedule and costing far more than we ever dreamed it would.
Getting more people onto the housing ladder.
Pushing up property prices for my landlord children.
We've had it fully costed.
We haven't a clue how we're going to pay for it.
We intend to make work pay.
We'll sanction the job list for arriving 5 minutes late for an interview and raise the retirement age to 97.
There is no instant solution.
It's a problem we intend to leave for the next lot in office.
Of course, I'm committed to a greener environment, but to combat climate change, we need a wide range of energy options. And for the time being, that includes oil, gas and nuclear.
Translation: my constituents don't like wind turbines in their area. And anyway, I'm far too busy to worry about the destruction of the planet. And finally,
we're campaigning to win an overall majority.
Translation: as long as my seat and income and expenses are safe, I don't really care about anyone else. But hey folks, that's showbiz.
Some of those brilliant, yeah. I think after that I need to play this.
Sounds good.
Are we having the Popular People's Front of Judea or the Judean Popular People's Front or the People's Front of Judea?
Okay, well, we're back with our candidates now for Bournemouth South. They've been resting in the green room. We've got them here. So we're very lucky.
Point of order, mister. We can't say green, okay? There's a party called that, so you can't say green room, okay?
Okay.
My party won't allow that.
Right, okay. Oh, I see. So it's already...
My party
it's
doesn't
going
even,
like that,
my
isn't
party
it?
doesn't even consider them significant to worry about it. You people are worried about it, obviously. You're worried about everything. No sense of fun.
Okay, guys, calm down. Let me give you a proper introduction.
Carry
here.
on, young man.
So you're the candidates for Bournemouth South. It's Tory Marginal and Noah Idea. So yeah, we're very lucky to have you in the studio, and I want to do an interview to find out some things about you. So the first thing that I really want to know, this is important to me. When I'm thinking about who to vote for, I'd like to know what's your favourite Haribo mix? Is it Star Mix or Super Mix?
I think the most important question here is not really what is my favourite. Obviously, I don't have preferences. It's a number of Haribo coming into the country in small boats, illegally brought in here, and it shouldn't be allowed. And it's affecting the British sweet manufacturers' industries in these industrial towns up north. You know, Reading and places like that. So I think that's the real issue here. Obviously, I don't have a favourite. That would be wrong of me to actually have a favourite of Haribo. And what about Cadbury's? What's wrong with Cadbury's?
Noah, how are you going to come back to that?
Well, personally, I've met him a few times. He's a bit fruity. Occasionally, I would have thought, you're quite a sweet man. And he is Mr. Harry Bow.
I see.
So that's him.
So I'm not getting a clear answer, guys. Is it Star Mix or Super Mix?
Well, I think Star Mix is a very interesting idea. Obviously, the British space program is leading the world. The Chinese have landed something on the other side of the moon. Pointless, you can't see it. The Americans have gone to the moon. The Russians have gone to the moon, or the Soviets, or whatever they call themselves these days. But in Britain, we have succeeded in putting Prospero satellite up there in 1968, or was it 69? It's been going around ever since and broadcasting. That is British engineering. A satellite that can send a beeping signal out for over 50 years.
Right, guys, moving on. I think that you two look like two people that had Sky growing up, so I want to know, what was your favourite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Well, I think that's a little bit unfair because Buffy the Vampire Slayer was originally broadcast on Channel 4, but I like mostly any episodes where the nice English librarian is organising these American chaps and telling them what to do. If Noah's party were to get in, they would let the Americans tell us what to do. We'd become rule takers, and they'd let them put their nuclear missiles everywhere. And who knows? I mean, the American candidates are both crazy. One's a giant orange with a Mussolini complex, and the other one is half asleep. So that's my answer to that question.
Personally, I've always liked them. I like the guitarist and the other guitarist. We're talking about Sky, aren't we?
Yes, Sky, I believe there's Sky, was it? Yes.
There was that. I've seen the LPs. They're in the charity shops now, all battered. 1970s stuff. There they are. Sky, all over them.
And this is typical of your party. Want to go back to the 1970s?
Yeah.
Endless strikes, black and white TV, 3-day weeks. Oh no, it's my lot.
Right, guys, I'm hearing a lot at the moment about economic growth, and what I want to know is there not an ointment for that?
There is not an ointment. Economic growth is something to do with generating wealth. Something we've let slip in this country. It's a powerhouse of industry. Young children sent down the mines to produce the wealth of Britain for their betters. We've lost that over the decades, over the centuries. We need to get back to that. All these unemployed poets sitting around, self-included, doing nothing apart from smoking opium and getting drunk and ruining naive young women. They should be sent to work back in the mine somewhere. They could write poetry in their spare time if they survive.
Weren't these people also out around the same time as Sky? They're cream.
Yes.
Well, that's ointment, isn't it?
But would you put the cream on first or the jam if you're talking about power trios?
Only if we were
party has no idea.
Only if we were going underground.
Well,
jam?
It's all very well. Yes, I get the joke, but I think you're living in the past there.
Well, laugh.
Well,
you don't know how to laugh, do you?
No, I don't know how to laugh because this is a very serious business. If you vote for me tomorrow, Bournemouth South, I guarantee that I will occasionally attend Parliament, very occasionally vote, and I will visit a constituency at least once before the next election. What are you offering the people of Bournemouth South?
No idea.
Yes, I know that's your name, yes, and?
I have no idea.
Okay, so you're just offering yourself?
Well, the thing is, you see, if you start making policies on the hoof, where will we end up? You just can't do it. So the best thing is be nice and vague, wishy-washy, don't answer the question, and it'll all be fine. I'm letting you have all the negative stuff so that we will arrive with the positive stuff.
Which is?
No idea.
Right, guys, there's a couple of questions dividing the nation at the moment, so I'm going to pressure you for some answers here. So, firstly, pineapple on pizza, is it a yes or a no?
I think it's okay between consenting adults.
Noah?
Pineapple on pizza. I've been on holiday to Hawaii, if that's what you mean.
Okay, and I need to know, Marmite, do you love it or you hate it?
Ah, yes, this is definitely one of my pet hates. Do you know there's a guy who lives locally and he's selling thousands and thousands of different brands and all sorts of souvenir things of Marmite? Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, foul stuff.
You see, I think this is a bit of a Marmite question, really. Some people like it, some people don't like it. All I can tell you is that if Noah's party was to be elected, they would increase taxes. It's said in their manifesto, we will not increase taxes, which means that they will increase taxes, and Marmite would be highly taxed. Marmite lovers would be taxed out of the market. They have to sell their homes and their children just to afford their Marmite fix.
Right, okay, guys, you've ordered a bowl of chips. Do you go ketchup or mayonnaise?
Mushy peas.
Salt and vinegar.
Okay, I've got 2 more questions for you guys. Are you planning to attend the Eras tour?
I'm sorry, what's the Eras tour? Is that a pop group or something, Eras?
I think it's isn't it Sky?
Is it Sky?
No, they're no longer doing music,
Terry
Sky.
Sky or something, yeah.
Cream aren't either.
Yeah, okay.
You're not very down with the kids, are you, for a poet?
A final question for you guys, and what's your favourite Radio Boscombe sketch?
Ooh.
Do you like Radio Boscombe, guys?
Oh, we love Radio Boscombe.
Yes.
Yeah,
I never listened to anything else.
Local comedy, we do.
Yes, I never listened to anything
And when we
else.
get into power, they will have all the arts grant money they would like.
Can they drink that much?
Probably, yes, actually.
Well,
Favourite sketch, come on.
Oh, I don't think I've really got a favourite. I think we can afford to have favourites, really. But I like the ones I'm in.
Well, I think that's a great place to end it then, guys. It's been Tory Marginal and Know What I Did. Do you have any final words for our listeners?
Vote no idea.
And vote for me, and I guarantee that within 6 months we'll build 60 million new homes across the country. Everyone will have a job. There'll be blue skies every single day, Spitfires flying over the white cliffs of Dover, and above all, we'll send all the pirates down to work in the mines so they can actually earn a living rather than sitting around smoking opium, drinking, writing poetry, and ruining young women.
Great. Okay. Well, I think that we should get you guys out of the studio and get Gary and Paul back in.
Thank you very much for letting us, me, put my point of view. You don't really need him in there. He's an idiot. He's no idea.
True.
Okay, what are we going to next?
I've just absolutely cocked it up massively, but it doesn't matter. What we'll do instead is we're going to go...
This is what a Cornish nationalist government would do for this country. Everything can be completely messed up.
No, it's fine. It's all fine because we can recover just as easily.
Oh, right, okay, fine.
Small, agile, nimble recovery can happen just like that. Nothing more to say, really, apart from Birdie. Do you want to hit that button?
Talking of chaplains and the cellar bar, I saw that you down there last night, didn't I, Tim?
Yeah.
And you decided to have a little joke with me, didn't you?
Well, you were just... all he said to me was, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow night." I was like, "No, I'm out. I'm done. I've been fired from the radio again."
Yeah, and I was shocked by this. I actually had to sit down.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Tim, can I sit down?"
I said, "Of course you can." And then he started getting all concerned and giving me all these questions. And I said, "Well, it would be if it wasn't winding you up."
Yeah. And then I did a double take, and then I was like, "Oh." And I may have called you a name that I can't say on the radio.
Absolutely fished, yes.
But anyway, I was thinking about that this morning.
So it's revenge time, yeah?
Here we
I mean, it would be a shame if you were to go from Hope FM, because as we know from your Facebook, that is your surname. So,
yes.
Tim Hayward, Hope FM. I mean, we all know that you got the job here because Hope FM is your surname. But if you were to be let go, and obviously this isn't your main job, I think this is just your... Is this your main job?
It'll be a side gig, yes.
It's your side gig, isn't it? So if you needed a new side gig, I've got some ideas that I want to run by you for things that you could do other than Livewire on Hope FM, right? So, do you like dogs?
Not particularly. Don't
Okay,
mind
the
dogs.
first one on the list is poodle groomer. How do you fancy that?
Poodle groomer?
Poodle groomer.
Better than picking up the poo all the time, I suppose, yes.
Okay. So you might be a little bit up for that.
Yeah, but not really down with the hairdressing, though.
Okay, you don't need to decide now. We've got more on the list. So, like, you're a bit of a team player, I think. You like working as part of a team?
No, I'm very isolationist, as you
Okay,
can tell.
then this one might not be for you.
This
Then
is why I've built a team around me to do this show. CW.
I've got synchronised swimmer.
Oh, no, that's ultimate team, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't do that on your own.
No.
Unless you've got a Herbert hologram. Maybe that'll be the thing. I have to invent a holographic way of doing it.
Okay.
Lens projection or something.
Okay, so I've also gone onto the internet today and found some other things that are actual jobs, by the way.
I was going to say they can find all sorts of things on the internet. So
You can,
you've got
yeah,
to be careful
no.
bringing those
But
on the radio.
I wanted to find you the right job. That's what I wanted to do. So I had a look around today and I found some other ones that also might be suitable. So, do you think you're quite good at saying sorry?
Never.
Okay, so professional apologiser is out of the question.
Yeah, well, I tried to say sorry. Someone was offended at me in the pub over the weekend, and I tried to say sorry, and they wouldn't let me a word in. So you think, hey, my sorry ability is not that strong.
Okay, don't worry, we've got some more ideas. So, would you say you're quite romantic?
I think my wife needs to answer that.
Okay, because I've got here online dating ghostwriter. So basically, that is when someone wants to do online dating, but they don't know how to sell themselves. You write the profile for them.
That sounds very much like what's the film? Oh gosh, with the guy with the big nose.
Pinocchio?
No, Cyrano de Bergerac. Have you not come across Cyrano de Bergerac?
I don't think I've seen that, no.
Okay, the whole premise of Cyrano de Bergerac is boy falls in love with girl, boy can't speak for toffee. Cyrano de Bergerac also falls in love with girl, but boy asks Cyrano de Bergerac to write love letters, etc. to girl as if they were from boy.
Right.
And then it all comes out in the wash.
Do you think you could do it?
That one, I would give it a good go.
You'd give it a go, okay.
It's almost like these people that invent horoscopes for a living, isn't it? And then, they just come up with some...
They're mostly Capricorns.
Well, that's your opinion. They might be reading the stars.
Creating a horoscope.
Okay, we'll move on. So the next one is...
How many of these have we got? This is only supposed to be a 30-second segment.
We've got a few more. So, hangover party cleaner. So people, they have a party, they get up the next morning, they're quite hungover.
I was thinking...
They don't want to clean. You come in, you do it for them.
I was thinking that would be a great name for a party. A political party, the hangover party. That's where my mind would be. I think we're in electoral special, the hangover party. And then you'd have to be the cleaner for the hangover party, which means you'd have to clean up all the messes that all the politicians create, because there's all sorts of skullduggery and things that go on like that, aren't there? Oh, no, sorry, we're not allowed to be political on this show.
Okay.
Yes, we can. We can tonight.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow we can't say anything.
Yes.
Okay, I've got 3 more for you, and then you need to choose which one you want to do. So, paper towel sniffer. Now, this is an actual thing. They sniff paper towels in the factories to make sure that they're of a good quality. So, do you think you could identify good quality paper towels just from a sniff?
I think that could be described far better as an olfactory.
Olfactory job. Yeah. I've got a job down olfactory. Yeah.
Okay, this one, I'm not sure this one is for you. This one's a little bit risky. It's a panda fluffer. And what they are is when they need to encourage the pandas to mate, they tickle them with feather dusters.
A friend of mine was a bull fluffer.
Okay.
So that is a legitimate profession.
I know it is. These are all legitimate professions that I found. Yeah. And then the last one, and we had to ask you, of course, is pasty taster.
Well, come on.
Come on. Okay, so you need to make a decision. If you can't do Livewire anymore, which job do you want?
Well, it's got to be the pasty taster.
The pasty taster. I thought it would be that.
Yeah, that's
you were willing
easy
to
get out after all those.
You were willing to give the online dating ghostwriter a good go. So maybe that'll be your backup.
And the olfactory job, that would be an interesting job,
Yeah. Well, luckily you're staying on Livewire. So
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you, Paul.
For yours, Tommy, the fight is over. Of course, even great political figures eventually fall from power. So with this next track, it's about poor old Julius Caesar.
Comrades, it is I, Comrade Lenin. The revolution is upon us. We have taken power.
Hooray! Hey, Lenin, my boy. We've been thinking about that.
Who are you?
You guys ain't told him, huh? Hey, I'm Elmer P. Trumpton. I'm your PR company.
PR? Proletarian Revolution?
Not exactly. Can you make the revolution work for hard-working families? That's what people want to know, and I love the pseudonym. Lenin, man of lentils. Like Stalin, man of steel. Only appealing to the vegetarian vote.
What?
Where do you see the revolution next year? Permanent revolution? Or socialism in one country? We need your USP.
Unilateral socialist policy?
No! Unique selling point.
Are you in marketing? Are you a capitalist?
Hey, uppercase, lowercase, you type how you want. I type how I want. Type both ways. Who cares? I just care about results. Now, we're gonna need merchandise. Plush hammer, plush sickle, the kids will love it. And something for the ladies. Could you get Stalin to be photographed in his underwear, or topless, or on horseback?
No Russian leader would ever do that.
Yeah, the first revolution back in March was okay, but a bit bourgeoisie. You know, like the Premier League. We see you as nearer to the people.
Exactly.
So, how about you live in a nice little old flat in Basingstoke?
What?
Image, Len. Image. Your wife.
Krupskaya?
Could she do ads for washing powder? Bolshevism washes my whites redder than red.
What?
Those counter-revolutionary whites, right? We need a slogan. How about, stick with me and you'll be a star?
We've just got rid of the Tsar. I was thinking more peace, land and bread.
Yeah, I can get that. I can see the posters now. You and little Mrs. Lennon in your humble Basingstoke flat with a loaf of bread, an allotment, and, to represent peace, a dog.
A dog?
Everyone loves pets, right? Okay, cameras, let's get this.
Since the revolution, comrades, I've got my land, I've got my bread, and...
Len, have you put the washing out yet?
I just can't get no peace from the wife. Hee.
Yep. Vladimir Lenin, a guy just like you. This November 3rd, don't be Bolshevik, vote Bolshevik. Get socialism done.
That was a party political broadcast paid for by some of the Labour Party.
Right, that was Lenin's PR about Lenin's fate after falling from power. I mean, he's political, you know, it's all political. I think it's Lenin who said everything is political. But then I guess he never played football, did he? Certainly not for Queen's Park Rangers.
No, he played in the Beatles, though, didn't he?
No, it's Lennon, not Lenin.
Right.
It's a different guy.
Ah.
Right, people often get those two confused, you know.
What, him and that jealous guy?
Yeah, that's right, that's it. We got the two confused. Absolutely. Right, well, you got another poem for us, CW?
Yes, potentially.
Potentially.
I'm just going through it and checking that I can actually read it on the air before I do so.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, it's that sort of poem, is it?
Yeah.
I would like to stress we were only joking about poets, you know, being alcoholics and high on opium and stuff, because they're not really.
Is this a retraction?
There's a retraction on air. We apologise if the wrong impression about poets came across. We were only joking. They're not really like that.
What, a starvation of poets?
The starvation of poets, yes.
They're always like that, aren't they?
Well, we got to, in the interest of balance, many of them are actually responsible citizens who pay their taxes, turn up to work on time, don't.
Where?
Somewhere, I guess. London, Newcastle, somewhere like that.
Every time I see poets, they're always propped up in the corner of the bar, blurbing, ready to, you know, power forth with their prose and their...
You see, you have a go at me for saying it, and now you won't say anything to Tim.
What was that word? Blurb.
So you want me to write blurb about you, so I'll write some blurb.
Blurb, okay. Yeah, blurb.
Anyway, have you got a poem for us?
I do, yeah.
But never mind.
I'm not particularly bothered.
Well,
You've just scouted out the poem for us, so we best have it.
do your
now.
poem.
Okay, well, you wanted a miserable one earlier, didn't you? So, yeah. This is called Old Wounds. Our oldest wounds get lodged in the heart. Slivers of denial, splinters of shame, fragments of addiction. What once was friendship became pain. Feelings of betrayal, the sensations of abandonment, memories of neglect. A chain reaction waiting to fall like dominoes at the slightest touch. A system of self-belief based on fear and regret. The names of all the people who hurt us. The names of all the people we hurt. We turn our backs and let our wounds become a shadow. They follow us around wherever we go, telling us what to think, buried deeply beneath our skins. When we hide from them, we do not own our wounds. They own us. We like to think we've escaped them or laid them down, but we carry them with us, folded in our fixations, lingering like ghosts, concealed in our core, the rotten apples of our love, creating a life without feelings of meaning or purpose. So gently we must begin to throw light on our wounds. We must open them with empathy and self-compassion, unfolding them carefully once more to see. We do not need to withhold or suppress them. We do not need to keep them closed off and silent beneath our masks. We can recover and let ourselves grow in the awareness of them. Love your wounds as part of yourself. Forgive them. Treat them with respect. Speak to them with kindness. Maybe then we can begin to heal.
Very good. Upbeat at the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
Positive.
I take you down, but then I take you back up again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's it. We were asking for the poetry to be an interlude for the comedy and the political comedy, particularly for this show, and that was definitely an interlude. Yeah.
A bit of a change of pace, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, talking of changing your paces, we're now going to take you back to ancient Rome and the story of another failed politician.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Julius Caesar. Not a lot of people know that.
Ah, Caesar, thank you for coming here today on the Ides March before the Roman Senate Selectus Committeus to explain yourself.
Well, you still haven't given me the parking space for my chariot. It's got 4 horses, too wide for a normal space.
Caesar, you are here today to answer for what you've done for the Republic.
Well, I conquered Gaul, divided it into 3 parts.
Really?
Well, they found it galling. Know what I mean? It's all in my book.
Ah, your private publishing interests. You're not supposed to have a second job, let alone write in the third person to boost your ego. Caesar did this, Caesar did that. It's fooling no one.
No, mate, the people love me. Red SPQR hats everywhere. And I get that Egyptian trade deal done. All the grain we can eat.
Not one of those confounded pyramid schemes.
It took a lot of negotiation. Queen Cleopatra strikes a hard bargain. I had to work through the night to get a Pharaoh trade arrangement. I sweated blood for this republic, and what thanks do I get?
And what have we had to concede in return?
We keep our army there to protect them from the Jewish revolt.
Revolting Jews?
You might say that, but I wouldn't. Don't want to be cancelled for being anti-Semitic like those sinister lefties. Sinister lefties, get it?
Yes, we get it. What else?
Only that we buy their sand, if we need any. They got loads of it there. The whole country's basically a giant beach.
And all this is due to your negotiations with Queen Cleopatra?
Well, she and I have a private arrangement, know what I mean? It's not just the senators up all night.
Intolerable! It is reported you betrayed your wife with her.
Nah, we have an arrangement, 2-way thing. The missus don't mind if I sleep with exotic foreign women, and I don't either. Lovely asp.
Asp? Snake all right, Caesar. You've placed the Republic in danger. Your ambition knows no bounds. Some say you aim at the throne.
Nah, I don't want to be king. I'm happy just being dictator. You know, like down the market, innit? Bag for life, I'm a dictator for life.
You started off the street gangs fighting over a temple redesign.
No, not me. That was Tony, Mark Anthony. I told him he was only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Caesar, bottom line. Did you or did you not knowingly lie to the Senate?
My experts assured me it was all kosher, in accordance with the rules.
You illegally crossed the Rubicon and declared civil war by advancing your army on Rome.
That was because my map scribe was on the blink. You can't get the educated slaves these days. And I got that Brexit thing done too for you. I left the Britons to it. When I sailed there, I was actually intending to go to America.
Where?
No, not America. A merry-go-round, I mean. A circus. Like where you race chariots. Did I tell you I need a bigger parking bay?
Yes, you did. And is that all you've done for Rome?
Look, mate, there's no place like Rome. I've begun a programme of social and governmental reforms, including the creation of a new Julian calendar.
Named after you. Bit of an ego you got there.
I've given land to veterans. Not mine or yours, of course. But I don't reckon I deserve this infamy.
Infamy?
Infamy, it's like you've all got it infamy.
This is intolerable. Brutus, when you finish with Popeye, show Mr. Caesar the door.
See, my friends and I, we take a good stab at it. Here, don't you wave that bloody spear at me. A2, brute, eh? See, I make you an offer you can't refuse. Put a dat in your next book.
Well, that's sorted out. Slaves! Please show what's left of Mr. Caesar out. Next case? Hadrian. His wall, and failing to get proper planning permission.
Livewire Live.
Okay, well, we were just talking about playing Scrabble on the radio, which is be coming to you soon, riveting stuff. And we're talking about a P and an R together, but we're not allowed to mention PR. Well, we can't mention PR. That's something else the politicians ever mention, isn't it? There we go. Right, so, sorry about the delay for that which dare not speak its name, and we won't mention it on air, so we're okay. So
Here we go.
Sorry, Tim.
Mentioned it twice.
But I got away with it.
If it weren't for your pesky kids, yeah, I know.
Yeah, if you're pesky kids. Right, we are winding down towards the end of the show.
Hit the button, Birdie, please.
Good evening. Tonight on Panorama Manana, the growing crisis in the Middle East. And I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something that affects me for a change. Good evening. In a change of programme tonight on Panorama Manana, we look at the crisis in households up and down the country. The chronic shortage of eligible, illegible young men. We spoke to Dave, a householder from Buckinghamshire.
Well, the original plan was that when the children grew up and left home, my wife would let me have the vacated room for a giant model railway, based on 1970s Basingstoke Central.
So what went wrong?
Well, my daughters have failed to leave home and get married, so I've been forced to leave my model railway in a cardboard box packed away.
And that makes you feel sad?
It's the unfulfilled promise of an active old age stolen. That is the perfect metaphor for the crashing of my life.
Dave is not alone. Many families are in the same position. Jasmine is 37 and is also unable to find a, quote, suitable suitor.
Well, I go to nightclubs, discos, pubs, even the gym. But all the men are either married, gay, or gay and married to each other. Or sleazy, or have really teeny tiny bank balances.
Have you tried going online?
I'm not swiping left on a total stranger. My computer could catch a nasty virus.
So, just where are all these eligible bachelors? We tracked down Mike, not his real name of course, at a secret safe house address in Bolton. So Mike, you're in hiding.
Yeah. If I go out, I'll get continually pestered, harassed by young women. All I want to do is have a drink, have some fun, go to football, come and go as I please.
And?
Well, I can't afford to do that. I don't have time for
relationship thingy. Well, at least not with a real girl.
So, you're in hiding?
Yeah, I have to be. Keep my location secret. I even get threatening letters on social media. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. I mean, that's real sinister, that is. I'm scared to go out.
So, what can be done to bring the Mikes and Jasmines of this world together, so that people like Dave can get his train set out, and I can give up presenting TV documentaries and collect my pension whilst living in a vineyard in the south of France? Well, with me tonight is Susan Serious MP, the government minister in charge of this problem. Susan, what is the government doing about this problem?
Well, quite a lot, actually. We're planning to set up a National Offenders Register. By law...
All the single ladies, put your hands up,
We'll have to register, as will all the young men.
Son, you are a bachelor boy, and that's the way you'll stay. Son, you are a bachelor boy.
No longer.
Conscription, then?
No, that's a very emotive word. We think of it more like a clearing system to match them up. Boy meets girl via another draconian government policy. Everyone wins.
And who will pay for all this?
Oh, the usual. Banker mum and dad. They want shot of 'em, they can pay for it. We're the government, you know. It's not like we're responsible for social services or anything.
Minister, I actually think you are.
I don't, and I'm a government minister, so there. Now, I too have a spare daughter I can't get rid of, so under the 2020 Boris Johnson's government can do whatever it likes act, I demand you divulge this Mike's location to me immediately.
What? You can't make the press divulge their sources?
Honestly, you people complain the government never does anything. Then, when we finally do something, you complain we're acting high-handedly.
I refuse. What about government? What about human rights? Oh, I wish we'd done the Middle East now.
No!
Watch where you're putting that Trojan. He's in the Blues' arms, watching City versus United. If you're watching Mike, run! Run now! Save yourself!
Traitor! You tell me where this young man is. I've got a daughter at home I need to get rid of. I want grandchildren!
Panorama Manama there. And next week's programme will be on government interference in broadcasting and will be cancelled mysteriously at the last moment.
Funny that, yes.
So we've only got a few minutes to go because Tim's got the timer thing on, and oh gosh,
you don't need to call attention to it. Every show, Paul, you're a professional radio person from another radio station, not quite of this parish, but of this parish. We do mention Forest quite a lot, alongside with Radio Wimborne as the three community stations in the Bournemouth area.
The Holy Trinity, yes.
Not the Bournemouth area, the wider area.
Greater Bournemouth area.
Yeah, but Verwood isn't barely Greater Bournemouth, is it? Verwood's its own independent entity.
Historically, it's part of Bournemouth and will be absorbed at any time now. Yes.
Oh, right, in the same way that Christchurch was.
Indeed, yes, yes.
Right.
Liberated is the phrase.
So you've got what you be prepared for what's coming to you. Basically, is what I think he's trying to say. But
is that
anyway,
what he's trying to say?
Going away from that for a minute. Thank you, Gary.
Well, we've only got a minute.
Yes, true.
Right.
Do you have this problem with Gary when he comes on? Doing the thing behind the scenes, like, oh, now we're going to have that which
no, I don't. No, because what you do, see, there's a little thing on there called a fader, and when it's connected to his microphone, when you've had enough of it, you just flick it off, and all you see is his mouth going up and down, and you carry on and do what you want. So,
as the actress says, Bishop. Yeah. As we've only got a few seconds left, CW, I believe you've got an unusual person you're going to vote for tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm voting Womble tomorrow.
Why are you voting Womble?
Oh, they're cleaning up the country, won't they?
Oh, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, dear.
So
I think we should say some goodbyes.
Whichever lot you support, do go out and vote for them, and then you know who to blame. Yes, it's goodbye from us, Radio Boscombe. Bye, Paul.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, well, we had no idea, and Tory Marginal. We had to beat them out of the studio, though. They were at each other's throats.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
Very romantic.
I've been CW Blackburn, and we've also
thank you, CW, for mastering the show. Birdie on the desk, doing an absolutely brilliant job. And we're out. Thank you very much.
Livewire Live.